Chris Architect here, and what you're seeing is gameplay footage of Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora. Thanks to Ubisoft, I was given the opportunity to try out an early build of the game. It's developed by Massive Entertainment, and I'm pretty excited to talk about what I played. Back in 2009, when I experienced the IMAX version of the film, I was blown away by its fidelity and only dreamed of playing games at that level. Fast forward to present day, and although we're quite not there yet, it's damn near close. My 3-hour playthrough showcased to me that Massive Entertainment placed great labor of love towards environmental design, excellent controls, and familiar but fun gameplay loop. This preview is a hefty one, as I'll be diving into as much aspects as possible. I'll talk about what I loved and what I found lacking, but based on what I played, Massive left me with immense hope for what's to come. My playthrough consists of 4 main missions and a couple side missions, but I spent most of my time just exploring the lush and dense land of Pandora. And from what I saw, Massive seemed to have captured the essence of the film in ways I could only hope for. Every facet felt high quality in production, ranging from tight controls to visceral graphical scope. There's a ton to unpack here, so let's dive into it. Now, before I continue, keep in mind that I dove into this game pretty much blind. I didn't know much about Frontiers of Pandora for the sake of wonder. It's just how it works. Additionally, this is an early build of the game set to release in December, so it's natural to expect visual and gameplay bugs. Surprisingly though, my playthrough consisted of just one minor visual glitch, which impressed me because, considering our current gaming landscape of companies releasing incomplete games, it could be rough. The experience Ubisoft provided me was pretty seamless. There was a save file ready for me to load up, and the liberty to adjust my controls and accessibility options was there. This is a heavily edited format of the 3-hour video, and even though I think I did a pretty good job, there was a lot of moments where I was fiddling with the game's control. I was often hopping around and constantly switching weapons on the fly. It was pretty ridiculous. Although I had an objective ready for me, I decided to just roam around as much as possible within my time frame. And in that time, I learned that flora affects your avatar in terms of movement speed and health regeneration. It was clear that buffs and debuffs would play a huge role, giving a sense of depth as well as some level of RPG mechanics.
I did it.
While I explored, I encountered random NPCs who had just returned from a successful hunt. They offered to share some of their game with me, which I thought was pretty cool. I stumbled upon abandoned outposts, which had resources to gather and some world information to collect. And as you can see here, there are other moments where I spotted an RDA platoon in the midst of recovering equipment from vehicles shot down by the Na'vi, or worse, them poaching wildlife with their machinery. I had no choice but to take them down, and these encounters were actually surprising. Foot soldiers and mechs coordinated attacks while displaying a commendable level of AI. They demonstrated impressive maneuvers from evasion to seeking cover and flanking strategies. You also have the opportunity to learn about your surroundings in and out of battle. In the midst of it, I learned about different kinds of machines that I was facing. For example, if a particular flora looked interesting, pressing R3, since I used the DualSense controller, revealed information about their classification and the resources they held. The environment felt enigmatic, akin to experiencing Elden Ring for the first time. There were geological formations with the potential of harboring its own set of secrets. You probably noticed early in the footage, but large roots would expand from the ground, spanning across the field of Pandora with vines hanging off it, which allows you to latch on, and it pulls you to the top to traverse on. Passing by flora would exude these fumes that propelled me even further. And with the ability to charge jump and execute an additional mid-air hop, all of this evoked a sense of fluid parkour that I can't help but appreciate. Your movement feels weighty, yet there's a touch of buoyancy that allows for a more forgiving traversal for players. There's fall damage for sure, but it takes a lot to initiate it. In the topic of flora, not all could benefit you, however. Some will attack you with projectiles, for example, or emit fumes capable of disorienting or confusing you. I couldn't tell you how startled I was looking around for an enemy only to notice some large Venus flytrap looking thing slapping me in the head with some brolic seeds. And though I didn't really experiment with this feature, there was some level of destructible environment, which is something the Snowdrop engine is known for thanks to the Division. I figured this out as I stumbled with the controls, accidentally tossing a grenade that resulted in some trees toppling. I thought that was pretty cool. Frontiers of Pandora is focused on making sure the player feels immersed in the world. In Avatar, the RDA developed the technology to clone Na'vi and then take control of it through VR space. That's the impression Frontiers is trying to convey, and it works. All of the cutscenes in this game is in first person, much like Far Cry. Subtle body language, micro adjustments to facial animations, all visible to a high degree. Unfortunately though, the fade to black from gameplay to cutscene is ever present, removing immersion from players like myself. It's a technical element that prevents graphical hurdles created by players, but I'm so over it. It makes the game feel a bit dated in an otherwise forward-pushing engine.
Okay, don't worry.
Now name her. She has made herself yours.
Now, this is a Ubisoft game, and they're notorious for having a loud screen filled with all types of UI elements. I'm happy to let you know that is not the case in Frontiers of Pandora. Now, there are some UI elements, of course, all of which can be altered within accessibility options. Objectives to the top left, compass top center, ammo count bottom right, and health info bottom center. I suggest taking the time to familiarize with them because even then they're surprisingly subtle. There are no mini maps, and much like Far Cry, you can have the game guide you or have the objective tell you environmental clues of your next step. You are allowed to mount animals in this game, but the preview only gave us the Ikran beast. We get to play a mission that focused on bonding with the creature, and after some platforming and puzzle solving, we connect with the creature, name it, and then take off. Flight felt solid and fluid. You're able to barrel roll, dismount in midair for some sick combat moments, and remount. It felt just as snappy as being on foot, which is nice. There are floating RDA platforms scattered throughout Pandora that needs to be taken down, which required me to fly, land, and unlock a node through hacking, which gave me only a few seconds to jump off and call my Ikran mid-air before detonation. Blasts actually propels you forward, which is nice. It caught me off guard, and honestly, I don't think there's any other game out there that does that kind of effect.
Even beyond the rainforest, we can take down as many as we can.
Got another one.
It's no good. Those devices are just pinging the signal around. You need to get to the...
Your Na'vi is capable of equipping 4 weapons at a time. In the preview, I had a heavy bow, long bow, Skell M69 AR, and a staff sling that tossed explosives at enemies. I used the DualSense controller as I mentioned before, so when you hold L1 a weapon wheel will show up. From there you can choose your type. The last 2 weapons you selected can be quick swapped by tapping triangle. Within the wheel you can craft new ammo for your weapons, or food to heal you. There are several healing methods ranging from flora, fruits gathered, rations stolen, etc. Some foods can give you additional buffs to further your Na'vi. It's also a bit weird to use your additional tools. In order to toss a grenade, you have to tap L1 square, which I found weird, and swapping to your SID hacking device, you would have to tap L1 triangle. It took some getting used to, but nothing I can't handle, as I thrive in layered controls. From the weapons I use, there's no means of ADSing. Rather, your character will tuck the weapon closer to their shoulder and fire from there. And the way they hold their bow is pretty cool as well. I'm pretty sure you noticed in the video, but it appears to be tilted to the left of the screen with the arrow atop the bow for some slick animation. The ability to preview your weapon in first person is there, though I actually forgot it was an option during my playthrough. On top of that, there are RDA forward operating bases that are heavily guarded. Of course, you have the ability to approach how you like, so I decided to utilize the hybrid blend of stealth and chaos. I surveyed the area a bit, snuck in, and positioned myself to attack full force. I was immediately swarmed by mechs, foot soldiers, and even turrets. Soon after, helicopters started arriving. You can't just go in and kill everything and be done with it. There are multiple objectives that requires you to shut down and destroy before escaping. The area was huge and vertically layered, which seemed to be designed with co-op in mind. Elements such as chains pulling up higher, river streams to dive in and emerge elsewhere are there, making maneuvering feel organic and seamless. Enemies felt its best here, with even more aggressive approach against me.
Let's fly.
On my final objective, there's a cutscene signifying my success, much like the Far Cry games. On top of all of that, Avatar Frontiers of Pandora looks absolutely fantastic. It seems Massive Entertainment is pushing the fidelity of their Snowdrop engine to new heights. Diversity in foliage, fauna, and flora seems to be cranked to 11, alongside its density. Asset variety regarding Navi and RDA environments is also there. Scope seems to be pushed beyond the horizontal landscape to be vertical, all of which feels physicalized to further enhance its immersion. And this isn't even maxed out settings. From what I gather, I was playing the preview version with a mix of medium and high settings. I can't wait to see how it plays on my RTX 4090, and I'm hoping for an implementation of path tracing. Again, it may not be on Avatar film level, but it's damn near close. And there you have it, everything unpacked from the preview event. I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to subscribe and follow me on Twitter and other socials linked below. It was a pleasure, and until next time, deuces.